Then he used to say, like when we used to do the bhajans every day in New York, he said, when we do satsangs, he said suddenly one day, he said, "Do you see this the golden light?" I said,
Mm.
"Where is the golden light?" You know, he said, "Wherever the satsang or the practices happen, he can see the golden light."
Oh my God, that is so beautiful.
Yeah, so he said that. I said, I mean, for me, I don't see any golden lights. I don't see any. People say, do you see the aura? Do you see the energy? I know I am not able to see it. Even now, I don't see it,
Mm.
you know, but he can see it,
Can see it.
so
Awesome.
some of the little things, doesn't make sense at that time, but
Yeah.
later on you will know, because anything he does or anything he says always has a meaning behind it, which
Mm.
we, as like the seekers and with our little minds, we are
Mm.
not able to understand. "Oh, what is he saying?" But probably 10 years later you will realize, "Oh, this is what he was, conveying to us," but we didn't have that radar or antenna to get it.
Catch it. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice. Oh. um, he's just so sweet and so patient and um, it just
Yeah, like
like
one time, um, he invited us to come to Rishikesh, so we went there.
mm,
So while coming back, I mean, there's a lot of Indians were there. One of the couple, usually they always like keep on asking questions, why this, like that. So while we were coming back to the ashram in a
mm,
bus,
mm,
so he was actually Gurudev was sitting next to me, and then this person was keep still asking questions, this thing, but it's the same questions again and again. No?
ah,
Then I said, like you are. I told Gurudev, you probably have so much patience. This lady is asking the same question again and again.
uh-huh.
And then he said, "Yeah, even I wonder where the patience come from." That's what he said. Um, um, that's what, like, when I see sometimes, like, he gives the same intro probably 1 million times he might have
Mm,
done in this
mm,
50 or 45 years.
yeah.
The same thing he says again and again and again and again, and the same questions people ask, what about my spice, what about my job, what about my money, where will I get, this is the same question, like in the question basket, or when they come and meet him they ask, you know and I was thinking, like, how can he, I mean, how can a human being keep on answering the same question, keep on giving the same intro talk, with the same enthusiasm. That is important.
Yeah.
It's every time you listen to him when he gives an intro talk or a public talk,
Mm,
it is the same 100% enthusiasm he has, as though we are hearing, or whether as though he's conveying it for the first time.
yeah.
So that is what he says, living in the moment. That is the meaning of it, like every moment is new. It is not like, oh, I said this last time, last year, yesterday. But right now, this is the first time I'm saying it to them. So that is what it is. That is why we get the knowledge so deep,
Mm,
able to get it, because that much energy is behind those words. Remember, he says, like, it is the intention behind your action and words.
yeah.
You know, when he says presence, what does it mean? Is like the the energy behind what we say.
Ah,
That is what you get it.
yeah.
Like how he says, now, if your mom says, "Have a good day" when you go to work, it's different from a hostess saying, "Good, have a good day," because even though the words are same,
Same.
but the energy behind it is so different. So that is what it is. We experience that with his words, because
Mm,
it has so much energy behind it. That's what presence is, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he carries it for each and every one of us like so perfectly. Like all of us feel that perfection in his presence, in his love, right? In our own definitions of how our relationship is with him and
Mm-hmm.
things that he That he
See,
does.
at that moment, you are the only one for him.
Ah,
So that is what it is like. Your 100% awareness and attention is on you.
yeah,
So that is why we feel so much love. We just want to go at least one. Let us let me gaze at his eyes for 1 second.
yeah,
That's all is needed, no?
yeah.
Because he is with you at that moment, 100 when he does darshan.
Hmm.
You know how we feel so fulfilled. It's only 3 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we wait for half an hour, 2 hours for that 1 second. But after that, we feel so fulfilled.
So
See,
true.
that is his power.
Yeah.
That is the grace he carries.
Very
I mean, that's what I think. That's my experience.
Very sweet.
Mm.
So, what happened after the first course? Like, was there any follow up, or did you move to
No, that
California
at that
after?
time, there was no follow up. There was no instruction. Even Sahat Samadhi meditation, he just gave the mantra, initiated me, and said meditate. That's it. There was no instruction. You have to do this way, this way, this way. So that is what it is. He, like without saying words, he can convey to you. It's not like he has to say it or do this way, do that way. Just giving that mantra, you get it.
Hmm.
That is what it is. That is his presence and his grace and his power. So like when he says Dakshinamurti gave the whole knowledge in silence, isn't it?
Hmm.
Even when Gurudev taught the first course, he didn't talk he
Okay.
didn't talk at all for 2 days.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the course, he asked them to share
Ah.
their experiences, and everything, the knowledge came out of their mouth, the people's
Yeah.
participants' mouth.
Yeah.
So that means he was able to convey just by being there. That is what he says to the teachers. No, it's not what you talk,
Hmm.
it is your presence
Hmm.
that will, transfer that knowledge to the other person. Hmm?
Yeah.
So, so
But
like when you are a teacher, you'll experience
experience.
amazing things because when you're sitting and able to surrender and sit there,
Huh.
the just knowledge flows. I mean, you have to know what to teach and things like that. But if any question comes, the answer comes, that is not even, that's beyond your mind.
Hmm.
You would have never thought about that answer before,
Oh.
but it will just come to you
Hmm.
from somewhere.
Somewhere. Very nice.
That is the experience I've had. Like we can do all. It's like one of the fear in teaching is like if they ask a question, if I cannot answer, what to
Huh.
do. But that never arises when you sit in that seat. So it'll come to you.
So nice. It's no.
That's a mystery.
Yeah. Totally.
We don't know how. It's all mystical. We don't know how it happens, but it happens only when you experience it. Then you will say, yes, 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 this is what it is.
Yeah.
The connection is there all the time.